We begin with the invasion into Ukraine. It has been 15 days since Russia launched its offensive into the country.
Yeah, no signs of stopping. The U.S. estimates that up to 4,000 Ukrainian troops and up to 6,000 Russian soldiers have been killed during the conflict so far. Vice President Kamala Harris is in Poland today. She spoke at a press conference with the Polish president and reaffirmed U.S. support for NATO allies. She also commented on whether there should be a war crimes investigation against Russia.
Pregnant women going for health care, being injured by, I don't know, a missile, a bomb, in an unprovoked, unjustified war, where a powerful country is trying to take over another country, violate its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, for the sake of what? Nothing that is justified or provoked? Absolutely, there should be an investigation.
Strong words there. Meanwhile, Russian forces launched another attack on the city of Mariupol today. This comes one day after Moscow's deadly bombing of a children's hospital in the city that killed 3 people, including a child, and wounded 17 others.
Such devastation. Russia and Ukraine participated in high-level talks today. The foreign ministers of both countries met in Turkey, but they have confirmed there was no breakthrough during their conversation. The meeting was held in Antalya, Turkey, and was the 4th set of talks between the countries so far.
Joining us now from Turkey is CBS News producer Pinar Sevinclidir. Pinar, thank you so much for joining us right now. We know that the meeting between the foreign ministers did not go well. That's unfortunate. We've been watching that all morning. But can you tell us what was discussed? What are both sides asking for at this point?
Tanya, looks like both parties joined these meetings with very, very different agendas. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuleba said he had 2 top priorities. One was to establish a humanitarian corridor for port city of Mariupol and a 24-hour ceasefire. But he emphasized that his Russian counterpart did not commit to any of those. Ukrainian Foreign Minister said Ukraine is ready for diplomacy, but Russian demands simply would mean surrender. But what are those demands? Russia simply asks Ukraine to stop pursuing to be a member of a NATO membership. Kremlin also asks Ukraine become constitutionally neutral, as well as recognizing previously annexed Crimea as a Russian territory. These demands repeated again by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov during the meeting today, and Lavrov also blamed West for the current crisis, for the current situation. He said West was providing Ukraine with dangerous weapons, as well as forcing the country to choose between Russia and NATO. But still, some see the talks today in some ways the positive development, since this is the highest level talks since Russia invaded Ukraine 2 weeks ago. Some hope, like the Turkish government as a mediator, that these talks would pave the way for eventually for the leaders of both countries to come together and hopefully find a political solution to this crisis.
It's hard to spin any of this as a positive right now, but I guess, we're grasping at straws here. You talked about, who else was at the mediation efforts today. What exactly is Turkey's role in all of this? Are they simply providing neutral ground for the 2 sides to meet?
Diplomacy seemed to have failed to stop this war, but looks like it's the only option to end it as well. There are many countries push themselves forward as to mediate between Russia and Ukraine. France, Israel, India were among those countries who tried to find a platform to establish a permanent ceasefire. But Turkey has a unique situation here. Turkey is a NATO ally, and also it has very good relations both with Russia and Ukraine. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called Russian invasion unacceptable from the start and promised to stand by Ukraine. The country also provides Ukraine with armed drones to counter Russian attacks. But there is the issue of sanctions. This is where it gets a bit complicated because Turkey is against the sanctions targeting Russia. Turkish officials say sanctions are counterproductive and the communication channels should remain open with Russia. Turkish president, in fact, warned against, quote, a witch hunt targeting Russian musicians, Russian artists, and Russian people. Turkey seemed to be facing a very delicate balancing act between Russia and its Western allies. I mean, today's meeting could be considered as a diplomatic success for Turkey. But of course, we're yet to see how it would overall contribute establishing a permanent peace in the region. Tanya?
There are just so many layers to all of this. Pinar Sevinclidir, thank you so much.